Welcome, fourth graders, to your editing lesson. You're going to be editing the LeBron James nonfiction passage with me, and you're going to follow along with me. And we're going to find 10 errors in the paragraph. So the paragraph below tells about a famous person born in December. Can you find and mark 10 errors in the paragraph? You might look for errors of capitalization, punctuation, spelling, and we're going to begin. So we're going to have our chart up here. CUPS, the acronym CUPS. Whenever we edit, we always focus on words that need to be capitalized, making sure the verb usage is correct, making sure that the punctuation is used correctly. That includes commas, apostrophes, and periods, question marks, and exclamation points. And the S stands for spelling, if words are spelled correctly. So CUPS, those are the only 4 things we look for when you have to edit. And your objective is you will edit the 10 errors using your cup strategy in the nonfiction paragraph. This is about a real person, LeBron James. So what I do, you do. Let's get started. When you're done, you'll click the green arrow to turn this in Seesaw. The first thing you do when you have to edit is you read it out loud. So I will read it out loud to you so you can hear all the errors. Born on December 30th, 1984, LeBron James is known as one of the world's best basketball players. After growing up in Akron, Ohio, LeBron spent 7 years playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He scored a lot of points and helped his teammates score too. People in Ohio were disappointed when he left to join the Miami Heat. In 2013, LeBron led the Heat to their second championship victory in a row. In 2014, he returned to the Cavaliers. Over here, we have some editing marks to help us out. So let's look at the first sentence. The first error that I see and that you should correct with me is the date. December 30th, 1984, there should be a comma after the number 30. That's the way dates are written. So we're going to move this. This has a comma, and we're going to insert it right there. So follow along with me. When I do, you do. So at this time, move the comma after 30. 1 down. Now that error, was it dealing with capitalization, usage, punctuation, or spelling? Now that was a punctuation error. A comma is a punctuation mark. So we have to, a comma is dealing with punctuation. So we're going to add a check mark underneath the P. That way you can see that this was a punctuation error. Let's look at the rest of the paragraph. LeBron James is known as one of the world's best basketball players. Now we're going to add an apostrophe. So click on the little hand. We have to move this apostrophe. We're going to move it, what I do, you do, in between the D and in between the S. World's best basketball players. We're adding an apostrophe because it's missing one, world's best basketball players. It's talking about the whose basketball players? The world's best basketball players. It's showing ownership and possession. Then get your little marker, and what kind of error was that? And it was a punctuation error. So we add a second check mark underneath the P column. And then we click on our little hand to be able to make the next edit. After growing up in Akron, Ohio, now Akron is the city, Ohio is the state, so Akron is a proper noun. So what I want you to do is we need to capitalize the A in Akron. So what you're going to do is you're going to move this editing mark. The 3 lines underneath signifies that that letter needs to be capitalized from a lowercase a to an uppercase A. Then I want you to get your marker, and I want you to draw an uppercase A above it. Great job, fourth graders. Make sure to follow along with me. LeBron spent 7 years playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now look at the title. Notice how LeBron is spelled. The B in LeBron is capitalized. So we need to move by clicking on the hand to be able to move the three little lines underneath that will go underneath the lowercase b. That needs to be capitalized. So then get your marker and then draw an uppercase B above the lowercase b. And we place the three lines underneath. And that's an editing mark that is placed when letters need to be capitalized. So we have 4 errors that we have fixed. Now, these two, what kind of errors were there? These two were letters that needed to be capitalized. So we would move over to the C column and add 2 check marks because those 2 errors were dealing with words that need to be capitalized. He scored a lot of points and help his teammates score. Help his teammates score, and let's look at the word a lot. So now we're going to click on our hand icon in order to be able to move this text box because this word is misspelled. Then we're going to type a lot. It's 2 separate words. Now, once you type in the text box a lot as 2 separate words, we're going to get our marker and we're going to cross out that spelling. Now, this one's an easy one because I just went over it. What kind of error was this? Was this dealing with capitalization, usage, punctuation, or spelling? This was a spelling error, so add a check mark underneath the S column. So I'll pause at this time. What I have on my screen, you should have on your screen as well. Now, let's look at this. He scored a lot of points and help his teammates score. If it already happened, we need to add the suffix. So click on the hand to be able to move the text box. We need to place it underneath the word help. We need to add the suffix ed at the end. He scored a lot of points and helped his teammates score too. It's past tense. It's already happened, so we add the suffix ed. So get your marker and cross out the word help. It's been replaced with helped. And then what kind of error was this? Dealing with the C, the U, the P, or the S in cups. Now this was dealing with spelling. We added the suffix ed. We have 6 errors. We have 4 more to go. People in Ohio were disappointed. We're going to pause right there. Do you see anything weird about that word? Disappointed is misspelled. So we know that we have to click on our hand in order to move one of these text boxes. And we're going to spell it correctly. You spelled disappointed with 2 P's. They forgot one of the P's. So D-I-S-A-P-P-O-I-N-T-D. And yes, you can laugh. I did say PP. So disappointed is spelled correctly now. It's with 2 P's. Then we cross out the spelling underneath because that's not it. Now, what kind of error was this? Dealing with capitalization, usage, punctuation, or spelling. Once again, this was a spelling error. We have a lot of spelling errors in this nonfiction paragraph. Now let's continue to edit. When he leaved to join, now let's cross out leaved and we're going to move one of these text boxes above the word leaved because it should be the word when he left, L-E-F-T. Then we get our marker, and this is dealing with spelling. This word was misspelled. When he left to join the Miami Heat. In 2013, LeBron led the Heat to their second championship. Now, this is using the wrong homophone. Homophone words sound the same, but they're spelled differently, meaning they have different meanings. So get your little hand icon to be able to move the text box. We're going to move it above the word they are. We need to use the correct there. Remember, when it has the apostrophe, Pretend that the apostrophe is an A, meaning they are two separate words. The apostrophe is sort of like an A in between the Y and the R. We need to use the other there, the one that shows ownership and possession. T-H-E-I-R. LeBron led the Heat to their second championship. Second championship, meaning it's related to his team. So it's T-H-E-I-R. So then you get the marker, you cross out the spelling, you switch it from they are to there, and then this was a spelling error. So once again, we have 5 spelling errors, 2 punctuation errors, and then 2 words that needed to be capitalized. So now we have 1 error to go because there's a total of 10. So let's go back and look at the word victory. Victory is a common noun. A common noun doesn't start with a capital letter. So I want you to get your marker and I want you to cross out victory. And we're going to move our text box now. We need to start off that word with a lowercase v, victory. All we did was change it from an uppercase V to a lowercase v because it's a common noun. Common nouns are not capitalized. Now, what kind of error was this? If we change an uppercase V to a lowercase v, this is, dealing with capitalization. That word was capitalized incorrectly. So it was capitalized incorrectly. So we add a check mark underneath the C in cups. So once again, to recap, the C stands for capitalization. I can't speak today. Words that need to be capitalized. The U stands for verb usage. The P stands for punctuation. And the S stands for spelling. And we had 3 errors dealing with words that need to be capitalized, 2 punctuation errors, and 5 spelling errors, y'all. So at this time, your LeBron James nonfiction paragraph should have all these edit marks and it should be corrected, and you have successfully edited the 10 errors in the paragraph. So click the green check mark to turn this in. Great job, 4th graders. We're going to be editing every day this week, and you just follow along with me and you edit together. You're going to become an editing expert. Thank you for watching, and make sure that you follow it along with me. It looks exactly like mine, and please turn this in. Keep it up.